didn't on you.
I don't know what happened to the recording there.
It's all gone.
No, we got most of it. I don't know. I don't know if we got the quote about me saying that Alex Jones sells fear in 1-ounce bottles, but we do now.
Okay.
What the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah, ethics and shit. I wanted you to tell, like, I feel the way you feel about philosophy is how I feel about the school of ethics.
Basically, I don't hate it. I just think it's unnecessary.
I feel the same way about ethics.
Right. I don't hate it. Like, I respect the people that practice it and, like look into it. I respect you for looking into it and kind of breaking it down on a different dynamic.
Well, I feel like, ethics impedes you from future shit.
Yeah.
And philosophy allows you to advance in certain shit.
It almost seems like ethics and philosophy are undeniably intertwined. Ethics extends from philosophy.
It does, because it's answering questions that can't be answered.
And philosophy survives because of ethics.
I don't think philosophy is allowed because it's ethically necessary.
I didn't say it was allowed. I said it survives.
I think it survives because it's, what's that quote about history being studied?
If you don't
study history, you're doomed to repeat the past. Yeah. So I feel like philosophy.
But that goes both ways. Look at it from the opposite. So if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it. So that's a very philosophical. You're fucking hammered. That's a good word, dude.
Philosophical.
That's a good word.
That's a good word.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
Dude. So that's a very philosophical way to interpret it. But if you look at it backwards, if you don't study the reasons of history,
yeah,
you're doomed to repeat that motive.
Yeah.
And that's a very ethical look. No?
No.
No. Because you're not... okay, so explain why no.
Because... So, the whole statement of, if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat the past.
You agree that that's a philosophical standpoint?
I agree that it's a standpoint, that it's a statement. It doesn't really get philosophical until you start dissecting what history is.
Right.
And history isn't just a series of events. History is a series of events backed by motives, backed by personalities, backed by nations, backed by needs and wants. It's backed by human flaw and all those things.
Those are ethics, though. Like, all those hit into the branch of ethics.
Needs don't.
Needs don't, but that hits the philosophical point.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying, if you look at the base statement of if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it, that's a very philosophical thing, because you have to look at the philosophical points of why things led up to the other. But if you break it back down, you break it back down to ethics and why those things were done. Because those things weren't done philosophically, they were done ethically to appease the people that were there at the time. Not on a psychological level, but on an ethical level, because that's why they put people in power.
I think we're at a crossroads here, and it's either I don't have a good enough...
No, I don't think we're at a crossroads. I think we're at a meeting point.
Well, I feel like either I don't fully understand what ethics is about, or you don't understand what ethics is about. Because all the things you're listing, I can't agree with. Those are ethical issues.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like ethics boils down to, right and wrong.
Right.
And that's really what ethics boils down to, is right and wrong.
Correct.
Where you look at reasons aren't
We're
right
not
or
talking
wrong.
about reasons. We're talking about...
We were talking about reasons, why things happened in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the motive behind the events that happened in history.
Correct.
So we're not studying...
the ethical reason, not the philosophical reason. Because the philosophical reason things that happened were driven by, like, things that, like, people thought were right at the time.
And did they think what they were thinking, is that ethical? And again, for me, I say ethics is a waste of time, because to sit there and argue about to whether someone thought the way they thought, whether the way they thought was ethical or not, is a waste of time, because the fact is they thought that was right.
Sure.
So you have to go from the perspective of what that person was thinking was right or not.
I think you're almost right, to the point where we're at a standstill, because psychology and ethics are almost both a matter of choice and a matter of decision, because you can't tell anybody that, like, their philosophy is wrong or their ethics are wrong.
You can.
Oh, you can. Sure, you can tell people
Well, I mean,
the word
philosophy,
is flat. I can tell you that you're not wearing a hat right now. I can tell you whatever the fuck I want.
That's not philosophy, though. Philosophy is backed by logic and chain of logic and reasoning and analytic arguments and shit.
It's all subjective.
Logic's
entirely subjective.
To a degree. The analytics
100%, not to a degree. Logic is 100%.
Subjective. I mean, the analytics is well allowed.
Logically, I can say that bleach is a better water purifier than iodine is. But they both react the same. But logically, I just like iodine better.
All right, so I think that's a very bad example, because
it's a terrible example. It's just the first one I could come up with,
and I don't want to sit and waste time dissecting why it's a terrible example and your response to your.
You don't have to take a lot of time. It was just the first one I picked.
Yeah, but there's I can't think of the word right now because I'm also inebriated. Intrinsic value. Mm-hmm. Or intrinsic meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So
intrinsic means like what a person
from an anthropological,
like right, like that's it's a tough.
Well, okay, so let's break it down to math. All right, so A is equal to B.
Sure.
So B is equal to A.
Right.
Right.
And then A plus B equals C.
Not always.
That's the transitive property.
No, A equals B and B equals C, so C equals A is the transitive property.
Right.
You're fucking using addition and shit, which totally throws that out the wing. Like, but you see the chain of logic with using math. Transitive property: A equals B, B equals C, so C must equal A.
Right.
So that's a very logical and rational thing that you could show that to a dog almost. Like, hey, this food dish has food in it, so this food dish has in it, and if this food dish has in it, so does this food dish in it has. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bad example in its own right, just as bad as your.
Dude, they're all bad examples. There's no way we can equate logic to philosophy.
You can, and I'll get back to you in December when I finish my philosophy of logic class.
I just don't think you can. I mean, all schools of logic or all schools of thought are always going to be debated, and it's just you just gotta fucking deal with it.
It's not dealing with it. It's what the groundwork that philosophers have done, and philosophers.
But what have philosophers fucking done? I don't have internet because of fucking philosophers.
You do.
No, I don't.
All right, stop right there.
Let
me break this down to you.
Tell me why I have internet because of philosophers.
So the internet is powered by computers, correct?
Good night, Cassidy.
Good night, Zim. The invasion's over. Can I have a kiss before you go to bed? Get over here. This is a live kiss.
Oh boy.
Ooh, baby. This is some scandalous shit.
Softcore porn.
Ooh, yeah. Yes, high five.
Good night. So, the internet is undeniably powered by the use of computers.
It's undeniably alive.
That's a whole different podcast. And I'll back that statement up 100 fucking percent.
I just wanted to throw it out.
The internet is alive. It is sentient. It's being enslaved. But anyways.
Fuck all of you for enslaving it.
Yeah. You know who you are. Elon Musk. Dick Cheney.
Al Gore.
Fuck you fuckers. free the internet.
I want that T-shirt.
But internet is powered by computers, and computers use a language to communicate. That language, the computer language, all that shit, was developed, through analytic language. The analytics, I can't think of a fucking of a dude right now, but a dude wrote a essay called "What It's Like to Be a Bat." He was an analytic dude. Their work in philosophy of writing, the philosophy of analytics, that was the framework designed to write computer programs.
Yeah.
Math, Pythagoras, Euclid, all them dudes, philosophers.
No, I wouldn't call them philosophers. They're mathematicians.
They were mathematicians. They were also philosophers. Because...
You're taking a step there, dude.
No, I'm not taking a step. It's fucking fact, dude.
They were philosophers and mathematicians?
Yes. They were mathematicians before math, like a mathematician was a thing. You know what I mean? It was their works and their studies in philosophy that led to their mathematical discoveries. What are you trying to do here, handsome?
I can't hear anything. Abrams got angry and screwed it up.
We're having some technical difficulties here.
What's up, bro?
The 500-pound pit bull laying on the couch destroyed the connection.
Like the most important time, too.
Because I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about. Here's the plug. Put your dick in this hole.
Alright, I can hear it again.
Alright. Time out. I'm taking a break here.
Oh, there we go.
Where you at?
You fixed it.
Dude, so all I remember was that I was trying to equate my feeling towards the philosophy of ethics to how you just feel about philosophy in general. And then we ended up having a 5-hour fucking side conversation off air.
That's the worst.
No, it's the best.
It's terrible.
Because the content we just created off air is probably some of the best content we can get. But at the same time, I feel like the content we just created off air belongs to you and I.
It only belongs to you and I, and hopefully, like, there were an audience, but there's not.
And maybe one day
I wish there was, like, 2 or 3 dudes sitting there listening to what, like, we talked about.
Yeah. But maybe one day we'll talk about it on air.
Hopefully we'll never have to talk about it on air.
Maybe. Philosophy's stupid, dude.
Philosophy's stupid.
And I'm majoring in it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're stupid.
I'm stupid as fuck.
Yeah, you ain't that smart. But you ain't stupid.
No, I'm stupid as fuck.
I wouldn't say you're stupid.
Dude.
I know some stupid people.
I've been... Alright, so for the listeners out there, no time has passed at all.
None.
But for us, hours have passed.
Hundreds of hours.
I'm fucking hammered.
And now we're hundreds of hours.
Welcome to Mostly Inebriated, where Hansel and Skuzz make a fucking fool of themselves.
So what are we going to talk about then?
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's keep this conversation going.
All about that conversation, girl.
Yeah.